My boyfriend said, I didn't cheat, I just developed a connection with someone I met on the trip. I asked while we were still together. He said, it's not that simple. I replied, it is now. When he came back from his deep connection and saw who handed him the packed suitcase at the door, he forgot how to speak. I'm Isabel, 34, and 3 weeks ago, my boyfriend of 4 years came back from a work conference and told me he'd developed a connection with someone else. The way he tried to reframe cheating as some kind of emotional awakening would have been funny if it hadn't been destroying my life. What he didn't expect was how quickly I'd be done, or who I'd have waiting at the door when he came back for his things. Lawrence and I had been together since we were both 30. We met through mutual friends, fell into an easy relationship, moved in together after a year. He worked in tech sales. I'm in software development. We had a good life, a nice apartment, traveled twice a year, talked vaguely about marriage. I thought we were solid. 2 months ago, Lawrence's company sent him to a conference in Austin. 5 days, all expenses paid, networking, and panels about industry trends. He'd been excited about it for weeks. New city, chance to make connections, break from routine. I'd been supportive, told him to have fun, bring me back a weird Texas souvenir, the usual. He left on a Monday morning. I drove him to the airport, kissed him goodbye, told him I'd miss him. He smiled and said he'd call every night, and he did call. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. The conversations were normal. He told me about panels he'd attended, restaurants he'd tried, people he'd met. Nothing seemed off. Friday night, he didn't call. I texted around 10 p.m. Everything okay? He responded 2 hours later. Sorry, late dinner with colleagues. Exhausted. Talk tomorrow. Saturday morning, he texted, extending trip by 2 days. Some people are staying through the weekend to explore the city. Okay with you? I didn't love it, but it wasn't unreasonable. Sure, have fun. Miss you. He came home Monday evening instead of Saturday. When I picked him up from the airport, something felt different. He was distracted, checking his phone constantly, giving short answers to my questions about the trip. I figured he was tired. That night, after we'd both gotten ready for bed, he sat down on the edge of the mattress and said, we need to talk. Those 4 words, never good. What's going on? I asked. I met someone at the conference. Her name is Marissa. She's from San Francisco, works in venture capital. We spent a lot of time together over the weekend. My stomach dropped. Okay. And I think I developed a connection with her, like a real connection, something I haven't felt in a long time. What does that mean, Lawrence? It means I'm confused about us, about what I want. Did you sleep with her? He looked away. I didn't cheat on you, Isabel. We just talked a lot about life and careers and what we want from the future. She made me realize I've been settling. Settling with me? That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? I think I've been comfortable for too long. Marissa challenged me, made me think about things differently, made me feel alive in a way I haven't felt in years. I sat there processing. So you met someone at a conference, spent the weekend with her, developed feelings, and now you're telling me you're confused about our 4-year relationship. When you say it like that, it sounds worse than it is. How is it not that bad, Lawrence? Because I didn't cheat. I didn't do anything physical. I just connected with someone emotionally while we were still together. It's not that simple. It is now, I said. If you developed feelings for someone else, if you're confused about us, then we're done. His face went pale. Isabel, that's not fair. What's not fair is you coming home and telling me you've been emotionally cheating on me and expecting me to be okay with it because you didn't technically sleep with her. I wasn't emotionally cheating. Yes, you were. You spent an entire weekend with another woman developing feelings, and you extended your trip to spend more time with her. That's emotional cheating. And honestly, I don't even believe nothing physical happened. Nothing happened. I don't care. The emotional betrayal is enough. Pack a bag. You can stay at your sister's or a hotel tonight. We'll figure out the apartment later. He stared at me like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. You're breaking up with me right now without even discussing this? There's nothing to discuss. You developed feelings for someone else. You told me you're confused about us. I'm making it simple. We're done. Lawrence, please pack a bag. He tried to argue for another 20 minutes. Cried. Said I was being hasty. Said he just needed time to sort through his feelings. I didn't budge. Finally, he packed an overnight bag and left around midnight. I heard his car pull out of the parking lot, and then I just sat on the couch in silence for about 2 hours. The next morning, I called my sister Emma and told her everything. She was furious on my behalf. He admitted to developing feelings for someone else and expected you to just wait around while he figured things out? That's insane. I know. What are you going to do? I'm going to pack up his stuff and get him out of the apartment. The lease is in my name. He moved in with me. He can find somewhere else to live. Do you need help? Actually, yeah. Can you come over this weekend? Emma came over Saturday morning with her husband Greg. We spent the entire day packing Lawrence's belongings: clothes, books, toiletries, kitchen items he'd brought, decorative stuff. Everything that was clearly his went into boxes. We stacked them neatly in the living room. Lawrence had been texting me all week, first apologizing, then getting defensive, then trying to explain that he didn't mean to hurt me. I'd responded once. You can come get your things this weekend. Let me know when. He texted Saturday evening. Can I come by tomorrow around 2? Fine. Sunday at 1:45, I got a text. I'm bringing Marissa. I want you to meet her. Maybe if you talk to her, you'll understand. I stared at that message for a full minute. He wanted to bring the woman he'd developed a connection with to pick up his stuff from our apartment. The audacity was breathtaking. I called Emma. He's bringing her. Bringing who? Marissa, the conference woman. He wants me to meet her. You're joking. I wish I was. What are you going to do? I have an idea. Can you and Greg come over right now? They arrived 20 minutes later. I explained my plan. Emma laughed so hard she almost cried. Greg said, "This is either genius or completely insane." Probably both, I agreed. At exactly 2 p.m. there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Lawrence standing there with a tall woman in an expensive-looking jacket. Marissa. She had that polished confidence, perfect posture, calm smile, the kind of presence that assumed she belonged anywhere she stood. Isabel, this is Marissa, Lawrence said. Marissa, Isabel. Hi, Marissa said, offering her hand. Lawrence has told me a lot about you. I'm sure he has, I replied, not taking her hand. I stepped aside. Your things are in the living room, all packed. Lawrence walked in, Marissa following. He stopped short when he saw the boxes. You packed everything? He asked. You don't live here anymore, I said. Seemed logical. This feels aggressive. It's efficient. Everything's labeled. You're welcome to check and make sure nothing's missing. Marissa was already looking around the apartment like she was assessing square footage. Nice place, she said. How long have you lived here? 3 years, I replied. Lawrence moved in 2 years ago. Cool, she said. She picked up one of the boxes. I'll start loading these into the car. Actually, I said, I have someone here who wants to help. I walked to the bedroom door and opened it. Emma stepped out, followed by Greg. Hey, Lawrence, Emma said coldly. Been a while. Lawrence's face went white. Emma, what are you doing here? I'm Isabel's sister, Emma said. I came to help her pack up your stuff and support her while she deals with her boyfriend cheating on her. I didn't cheat, Lawrence said quickly. Emotional affairs are still affairs, Emma replied. But you know what? I'm not the person Isabel really wanted you to meet today. I opened the front door. Standing there was Lawrence's sister, Jen. The look on his face was priceless. His mouth literally fell open. Marissa looked confused. Jen, Lawrence said, barely above a whisper. Jen walked in carrying a box labeled Lawrence's kitchen stuff. She set it down and turned to her brother. Hey, Lawrence, she said. Isabel called me earlier this week, told me what happened, asked if I'd be willing to come by today to help you move your things out. You talked to her behind my back? Lawrence said. She's not your girlfriend anymore, Jen replied. There is no behind your back. She called because she thought you might need family support during this transition. Marissa shifted uncomfortably. Maybe this isn't the best. I'm not done, Jen said, cutting her off. She turned back to her brother. I wanted to tell you to your face what I think about what you did. Jen, please. You cheated on a good woman, Jen said. And before you say you didn't, yes, you did. Emotional affairs count. You developed feelings for someone else while in a committed relationship. You extended a work trip to spend more time with that person. You came home and told Isabel you were confused. That's cheating. Marissa cleared her throat. Maybe we should just grab the boxes and go. Maybe you should have stayed in San Francisco, Emma said sharply. Jen looked at Marissa. You knew he had a girlfriend, right? When you were spending all that time with him in Austin? He told me their relationship was basically over, Marissa said. It wasn't, I said. We were fine until he met you. Lawrence looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him. He came back from that trip, I continued, and blew up 4 years because you made him feel alive for a weekend. Lawrence started crying. Can we not do this? Can I just get my stuff and leave? That's literally what we're here for, Jen said, to help you get your stuff and leave. The 4 of us, me, Emma, Greg, and Jen, helped load Lawrence's boxes into his car and Marissa's rental. It took about 20 minutes. Lawrence barely spoke. Marissa tried to make small talk. No one responded. When the last box was loaded, Jen hugged me. "You deserve better than this, Isabel. I'm sorry. My brother is an idiot." "Thank you for coming," I said. "Any time." She turned to Lawrence. "Call me when you're ready to admit you screwed up." Then they left. I closed the door and stood in my apartment. Our apartment. Now just my apartment. I felt a strange mix of sadness and relief. The fallout was immediate. Jen apparently had a long conversation with Lawrence that night and told him exactly what she thought about the situation. He called me the next day crying, saying I'd humiliated him by having his sister there. "You humiliated yourself by bringing the woman you cheated with to pick up your stuff," I replied. "I wanted you to understand." "Understand what? That you fell for someone else?" "I already understood that. You made it very clear." "Jen won't even talk to me now. My own sister is taking your side." "Maybe that should tell you something." He hung up on me. Over the next week, the story spread through our mutual friend group. Reactions were mixed. Some people thought I'd been too harsh. Most thought Lawrence had made a series of terrible decisions and was now facing consequences. Marissa apparently went back to San Francisco after that weekend. Lawrence texted me about it 2 weeks after he'd moved out. "Marissa and I aren't together. The distance is too hard. She said it's not the right time." I didn't respond. 3 weeks after the breakup, Lawrence asked to meet for coffee. I agreed, mostly because I wanted closure. He looked tired when he sat down across from me. "I made a huge mistake," he said. "Yeah," I replied, "you did. Not just with Marissa, with us. I threw away something real for something that turned out to be nothing." "What did you expect? You fell for someone you spent a weekend with. That's not a foundation for a relationship." "I know that now." He looked at me hopefully. "Is there any chance?" "No," I said. "There's no chance." He swallowed hard. "Even if Marissa hadn't existed," I continued, "even if you'd just come home and said you wanted to break up, we'd be done. But the way you did it, the emotional cheating, bringing her to the apartment, the complete lack of respect for what we had, there's no coming back from that." "I still love you." "I don't believe you," I said. "I think you love the stability I provided. I think you love not being alone. But if you loved me, you wouldn't have done what you did." He cried. I didn't comfort him. We finished our coffees in silence and then went our separate ways. It's been 4 months since Lawrence came back from Austin and told me about his connection. 4 months since I packed his things and had his sister hand him a suitcase. I'm doing okay now. Better than okay, actually. I kept the apartment. Lawrence moved in with a friend temporarily and then found his own place about 6 weeks ago. We don't talk. I blocked him on social media after he posted something vague about learning to forgive yourself that was clearly directed at me. Jen and I have stayed in touch. We get coffee occasionally. She apologized multiple times for her brother's behavior, which I told her wasn't necessary. She said Lawrence is still single, still processing what happened, still occasionally bringing up my name like there's any chance of reconciliation. There isn't. Emma asked me last week if I regretted how I handled it, if having Jen there was too much. "No," I said. "Lawrence brought the woman he cheated with to our apartment. Having his sister there to witness his consequences seemed appropriate." The thing I've learned from all this is that an emotional affair isn't a softer version of cheating. It's still betrayal. It's still a violation of trust. Lawrence thought because nothing physical happened, it somehow didn't count. But developing feelings for someone else, spending time nurturing that connection, prioritizing them over your partner, that's cheating. The lack of physical contact doesn't make it less painful. I've started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I'm open to it. I'm more cautious now about people who talk about being bored in relationships or who romanticize the idea of fast connections. Real relationships are built over time, through commitment and choice, not through weekend adventures with strangers at conferences. Life goes on, and honestly, it's going on pretty well without him in it. I ran into Marissa once, actually. She was in town for another work thing about 2 months ago. We were at the same coffee shop. She recognized me, looked uncomfortable, and left quickly. I didn't say anything. What was there to say? As for Lawrence, I heard through mutual friends that he's been telling people our breakup was mutual, that we'd been having problems for a while. I don't bother correcting the narrative. The people who matter know the truth. The last text I got from him was 3 weeks ago. "I hope you're doing well. I think about you sometimes, about what we had. I'm sorry I ruined it." I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. He made his choices, I made mine. The difference is, I'm at peace with mine. Sometimes I think about that moment when he walked into the apartment and saw Jen standing there, the complete shock on his face. the realization that actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences involve your own family calling you out. It wasn't about revenge. It was about showing him that what he'd done wasn't okay, and that the people who loved him could see that even if he couldn't. I hope he learns from this. I hope his next relationship is one where he doesn't sabotage something real for something shiny and new. But that's not my problem anymore. I'm doing fine. The apartment feels like mine again. I've redecorated, changed some furniture, made it a space that doesn't remind me of him. I'm sleeping better, working out more, spending time with friends and family. Life goes on, and honestly, it's going on pretty well without him in it.